Oh my gosh, I literally just like banged my elbow like the funny bone in the funny bone way. So, we're off to a great start. Literally, like I sat down. I banged the fuck out of my elbow, and now I'm expected to just like, I don't know, like keep things cute and cordial, right? There will be no cute and cordial happening. I come to you. First of all, hi. Hi. Welcome back. We're here. And if you haven't noticed, we're on camera. Like, we're here and we're on camera. So that's exciting. But the caveat is there's like some, I don't know like what the issue is with the camera, but I guess like there's like a formatting thing where you can't record for like longer than like like something about like the format of the files like can't be bigger than a certain thing. So it is liable to stop recording kind of whenever, which is why I'm like, okay, period. Like, loving her, gonna just leave her alone. I'm gonna just do this in whatever increments I can. I'm thinking I'm gonna go like 2020, but I don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that being said, first up on the docket for progress reports, we are on camera. Like, so excited. I've been waiting to use my setup. Like, this is, well, it's like low-key a set. Like, it's not, well, listen. It's a desk. And I just decorated it with some nice things, okay? And I feel really happy about it. So whatever. I'm calling it like my set. I put some stuff on the wall. Some stuff that I like. Some art that I found. All by Black artists. All by Black artists, by the way. Well, actually, first and foremost, King Cruel is white. So never mind. But everything else on there is a Black artist, including that little thing. Like, my godmom made that. And she's a Black artist. So shout out her. What's up? What's new? Progress report. I'm here. Like, it's interesting because now I'm like, I have to be cognizant of splitting my attention between the camera and this is not the camera, right? The camera there and my laptop. Because that's just, I'm also still doing this shit by myself, monitoring my own audio levels. So I'm like trying to make sure it all looks good and normal. And also, like, I have notes. I told y'all that I was going to get serious about like a run of show. So I'm going to be running the show, but I just have to make sure that that shit is on, like that I'm staying. I mean, maybe not that I'm staying like on topic because there is no real topic, but you know, that I'm keeping myself in line. I like as a self-production queen, you feel me? So yeah, that being said, after 4 minutes of nonsense, I come to you like a humble servant of a fucking double matcha. Surprise to no one. Like, literally my fucking hands are shaking. I come to you a humble servant of a double matcha. Bro. But you know what? I'm not even going to say that it didn't do its job, because the thing is, like, I woke up this morning and I was feeling very like, womp, womp, womp. And I'll get into this, but I've had just a few experiences just today that have like turned my energy around, and I fear the double matcha was like the frosting on top of the like turn that frown upside down cake. So here we are. Yeah, progress report, new setup. On my set, had the best weekend ever. This is like for the girls that are like needing maybe, or the girls that anybody, I guess, who's like needing some encouragement to like go outside and do some shit on your own. But I literally took myself on like a solo adventure weekend, low key. And honestly, high key, that shit was 3 days because I was still doing it on Monday. And it was great. It was great. And I just like, I think after last week, like I No, first of all, my life has been like at a record high of the past like year. I think energetically, like I've just been feeling higher. Like I've been feeling really light. I've been feeling like really great. Like probably since I think before Halloween. I feel like I mentioned this. Already, but I've really been trying to like open up to the world on just some the world is my oyster, like daughter of the earth type beat. And I went out this weekend and I just had the best time ever, made some new friends, had some good food, had some great matcha, like took some vlogs. Like it's just, I feel like obviously, like I think going out and doing stuff like that for a lot of people is like kind of nerve-wracking, but I also know like a lot of people have been trying to like encourage themselves to take like those risks and do that exploration. So if you're needing a little bit of a nudge of encouragement, I'm just gonna say would 100% recommend. I think if you think of it very like excitedly and like you're just very open to the idea and to like the whole thing, then it should serve you in the way that you want it to. Yeah, just like crazy. It's just crazy, like shifting your mindset and seeing like the direct reflection of what that looks like it's just never not gonna like blow my mind, because this is like the type of thing that like that this happens, but you kind of just forget because you start moving on autopilot and you start acting out of fear and you start like trying to control everything and blah 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 blah. But then it's like it just, I don't know. So yeah, that happened. I also got a plant. My first plant ever. Very excited about her. Her name is Margaret. I'm trying to be gentle because I don't want her pot to like scratch the wood. So, Margaret, she's so cute. I got this plant and this pot from Frond Plant Shop in Austin. I posted a TikTok about it probably by this point, like by the time this comes out, because I've been like working on one. It's been in the drafts. I just wanted to like show people the store because I found it low-key I found the plant store on accident during my 3-day solo adventure. Thank you. And I don't know, like I walked in and the energy was just so good. The energy was good. I made friends with the girl at the front. And she like helped me find this plant. This is called, by the way, a marble queen. And I just think it's crazy because like I looked at her and I thought Margaret. Like before I even knew it was a marble queen, I was like, Margaret, like that name just works for you. And I'm like, wow, Margaret the marble queen, like that feels universal. Like I don't know. So she's gorge. Like her leaves are beautiful. She's just in great condition. This pot is beautiful. I love the navy blue. Again, trying not to scratch the desk, but yeah, I like this girl like helped me find this plant and helped me like find this pot, and then she like repotted it for free because there's like apparently like a repotting fee situation and like a whole process. But yeah, so yeah, I have a Margaret the Marble Queen. She's here. She's on my desk. What else? What other progress update? Oh my gosh, there was a nail in my tire. So like my car was in the shop first and foremost, actually my car was in the shop last week for an oil leak. Aggravating, but okay. My car was in the shop for an oil leak. I was literally like confined to my house from like Wednesday to Friday, dead ass. And then I got my car back and there was a nail in the tire, so like had to get that shit fixed too. But the guys at the car shop like did fix my car keys. Like my car keys, for context, have been not working for probably about a year now, maybe over a year. So low-key, like I've been going out and my shit just hasn't been locked. Like I just hella don't lock my car. Oops. Like just because I can't, like unless I like take the key out of the fob, like the physical key out of the key fob and like lock it manually. But sometimes there's just not time for that. And honestly, like that was just not that I was wanting to do. So yeah, like I was raw dogging it, and the guys like fixed my car key. So yeah, shout out them. Very happy about that. Now all of a sudden like my clicker is working and I'm just like, ugh, love. Also just shout out Patrick because I just knew it was him. Like there's this guy working there. His name was Patrick. I knew it was him. And honestly, like I think it was because he had a crush on me, but I don't know. I feel like I think everybody has a crush on me. So yeah, not really knowing what to do there. And I wonder if I mentioned this last week, like when I was talking about my actual real life crush, which is waning, by the way. But I'll get to that. No, I'll get to that. But yeah, I was just like, something about you, like the way that you're approaching this whole situation is just very much giving like, I love you. And I'm like, hey, love you too. And thank you for fixing my car keys. So yeah, shout out him. That is it on progress. Now, routines and ins and outs. Still on room temperature water. It's going great. By the way, like I ran 6.5 miles this weekend. So running is like going good. Probably assisted by my newfound like actual dead ass hydration that I feel. Crazy. Yeah, I've been like running with this like productive energy that I'm feeling and been posting like on TikTok, which is fun actually. Like I think the true truth of a relationship with TikTok, for me at least, is that like I think it's like I don't want brand deals. I literally just want like people to see. Like I just want people to be like, oh my gosh, like da, 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 like love you. You know what I mean? Like it's not, I don't know. I've started to lean into posting just for funsies. Cause I'm like, you know what? If I post for fun, the girls that are wanting to have fun will find the fun content that I'm making. So yeah, that's kind of been my approach for TikTok. And I've just been doing that to my own, just like at my leisure, low key. So that's been fun. Everything else from last week has stayed, still applies. My appetite is back. So feeling really good about that. Like I've been literally eating like nutritious and delicious for real and not for fake. Like, love that. I just can't even believe the way that I was feeling. I don't know why I was feeling that way, but force feeding myself sweet potatoes like just wasn't going to cut it for much longer. So yeah, appetite is back. That being said, very excited about stuffed peppers tonight. Like if you have not had like stuffed bell peppers, BT dub, that is like literally fire. That shit is literally fire. Love a stuffed pepper down and would 1000% recommend. And like my mom is so sweet. She is actually like a sweetie baby for real. And I'm not even going cap. Like I think I like kind of forget sometimes just because of like the alleged like doom and gloom of like being home, and which does come with some doom and gloom in the sense that my adult life is around operating under my parents' roof. So like the like reckless fun of it all and like the privacy of it all, like that's the tea that I'm not serving, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like really great that I have like the family that I do and the support system that I do. Like I said, like my mom is a sweetie baby. I started talking about this shit because I was talking about stuffed peppers and she literally like, I think I was supposed to make the food first and foremost, but I bought all the ingredients from the store yesterday, like ended up not cooking. And this morning I come downstairs and she literally prepped the meal before work so that all I would have to do is like assemble the filling and like put it inside the peppers. Like she like roasted the peppers, she like made the rice. Like I was just like, she really like, that's an acts of service queen. I don't know. That's an acts of service queen. And like, I just love her. I don't know. I love her. So yeah, blessed, literally blessed. Like, Yes, they be getting on every single last nerve, like from my finger to my toenail, low key, but I feel like it's okay. Like, I appreciate that I can even say that they're even here to like get on my nerves, like from a place of love, you know? Because there's also getting on your nerves from a place of love versus getting on your nerves from a place of I actually just am like prideful or I hate you or this or that or the other. Like, and I know that there are some nasties out there, so yeah, feeling really, really good about, well, and am I feeling, well, yes. Okay, you know what? And I'm going to just own that. Feeling really good about the state of my home right now. So, oh, honestly, along those same veins, I was kind of having a moment this morning where I think one of my ends may have been like, maybe I didn't say this, but like, and in the sense, and when I say this, hey, I mean it like in the sense that like, this is like actually I think I did talk about this because I talked about how I've been journaling at night and how that's just been like making my life better. Still doing that, by the way, but like a part of my journaling is literally like gratitude maxing, low key. And yeah, it just like, I feel like in the process of that, like I've been able to kind of literally like count my blessings. Like, for example, like, yes, the family group chat is OD, but like, I don't know, at least it's good vibes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people can't say that. So I think that the fact that that's kind of what I'm working with, at least, feels very good to me. Outs that I'm adding on this week, rumination. Yeah, kind of in line with what I said about like thinking twice about what anyone on the internet has to say. However, I actually read a Substack this morning, and this was part of my like mood turning around, that I feel like, I don't know, like something about it. And I'm actually gonna like pull it up because I like consciously was reading it and I was like, I actually want to share, like I want to spread the gospel of what this girl is talking about. So wait, I'm gonna find it. Because when I say like rumination is out, like this is what I mean. Okay. So this Substack post is called How to Have a Quieter Brain. It is by Ayushi Takar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's AYUSHITHAKKAR. And it looks like actually she posted it yesterday on her Substack, Milk and Cookies. Would recommend. And she talks about like a bunch of things, but there was like, wait, I'm gonna find it. There was a point in this Substack where she starts talking about how, she's basically talking about things that she has been like really trying not to do in pursuit of this like stillness of the mind and like not quiet, like not necessarily like it being completely quiet, but just like it, like her accepting and her willingness to accept the noise. And she says, then there's the habit of rehearsing, the endless pre-playing of conversations and outcomes. For a long time, I thought this was a sign of emotional intelligence, that by anticipating every possibility, I was being careful and self-aware. But what it really was anxiety trying to control how I'd be perceived. Okay, like that's a read. She continues, I'd go over what I said, what I should have said, what I would say next time, and yet no amount of rehearsal ever made me feel prepared. And oh my God, like if that, I literally am like the queen of premeditated arguments and conversations, low-key, like not even like, and obviously they never go the way that you think they're gonna go. Obviously they never go the way that you think they're gonna go, obviously, okay? Because in conversations require two people, so you can rehearse that shit all you want and like think you know how someone's gonna respond all you want. That's delusional. So She then goes on to say, now, when I catch myself scripting, I stop mid-thought and remind myself, I'll handle it when it happens. I always do. Trusting that version of yourself, the one who exists in real time, is one of the gentlest gifts you can give your mind. Gosh, she then kind of wraps up her whole essay, which I would recommend just reading it to get the additional context necessary. But she then says, there's a subtler kind of acceptance that comes from realizing you won't always get closure, that not every question needs an answer, and not every misunderstanding needs to be fixed. I used to replay conversations in my head like puzzles I could still solve. That was too good. That was just too good of her, because seriously, what the fuck? I'm and the thing is, so I was kind of in a funky mood. I've kind of been in a funky mood for a couple of days now, just because I feel like I was do I even use this word betrayal? I feel like I was kind of just betrayed by a friend in what I consider to be an insane way. However, that being said, I've found myself thinking about how I'm going to bring this up to this person and trying to get together my argument and my receipts and all of these things and planning this confrontation. So not peaceful, by the way. And I am a my peace warrior, low-key. I really do. If it's my peace, I will take a step back from the situation every time and just be okay, you know what? Shorty, you got it. It's always going to be that. I will hit a bitch with an okay so quickly. But for some reason, this time, it just felt oh my God, what the f-? You know what I mean? And I've just been ruminating over it and thinking oh my gosh, how am I essentially gonna make this person feel my scorn after this insane betrayal? And I don't know, I woke up this morning kind of in a funky mood about it, because I was enraged initially, obviously days ago, enraged, woke up feeling the calm that usually comes after the storm, because I guess I got all of my anger out, and I was okay, you know what, I'm gonna just let my mind be quiet this morning. Before I even saw this, by the way, I was I'm gonna let my mind be quiet this morning, and I'm just gonna sit with myself. And I sat with myself, and then I have Opal on, ass. Actually, it's not ass, because it do be keeping my shit in check, low-key. But I have Opal on, and so I can't look at any distracting apps until literally 1 or 2 p.m. And I don't consider, I guess I don't consider Substack to be a distracting app, because that shit is not blocked. And so I open up Substack, I start reading. This is the first Substack article I stumble upon. I'm gonna continue though, what she was saying. I'm connecting the context of my situation and why I found this to be especially profound. But I also feel this is a thing that young women in particular do to a degree that is insane. So yeah, then she wraps it up with, I used to replay conversations in my head like puzzles I could still solve. Right, read that. But some things just end mid-sentence. Some people just leave mid-story. And part of having a quieter brain is learning to stop asking those loops to close neatly. Peace isn't found in understanding everything. It's found in no longer needing to. And Ayushi to car girl. That was a word. Obviously, I reposted that shit immediately on Substack, because yeah, that was a word. And I think that's what I really, really needed to hear. And so that being said, my final stamp, on rumination is that it's out. Stop. Just stop. And also it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve you. It just doesn't serve anyone. So yeah. Now, moving on to what we actually came here for, because I know last week I literally was like, I have a lot to say about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I have notes, actually. because I have notes. Now that you can see me, this was me writing on the order cards, because I go to a movie theater where you can, like, make food orders. So I'm writing on the order cards the entire time, mind you. I think this is, like, I should have numbered these pages, Loke. Okay, we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go here. I think this is right. Okay, so moving on to Frankenstein. Okay, so from the first, I was actually just listening to another podcast. I think it was the Broski Report, where she was talking about, like, the origin of, oh my gosh, another thing that I wanted to talk about actually this week was the origin of Chungus. I can't even believe I just, like, made myself think about that. Like, I just reminded myself about some shit that I completely forgot about. And I want to know, because the thing is, like, my sister's 16, and she said, or she's 15, and she said, like, the other day she said to me, like, I know Chungus is, like, trending right now, right? But the thing is, like, I'm 26 years old. Like, I've known Chungus, like, but I don't remember how I knew her. I don't know what the original, like, Chungus coming into popularity was. I feel like it was, like, when I was in middle school, but I don't know. But my sister recently was like, what the fuck did she say? She was like, something, my freaking Chungus life. And I was like, girl, what are you literally talking about, Chungus life? Like, do you even know the origin of Chungus? And that made me think, do I even know the origin of Chungus? Like, so really quick diversion, and then we will literally get right back into Frankenstein. Period. AI overview, hating her. Wait. Carl, what? Wait. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's already 10 opinions on this, by the way. There's literally already 10 opinions on the origin of Chungus. AI overview says, I'm gonna go through them because I have to know what's going on here. So, AI overview says, the term Chungus was coined by video game journalist Jim Sterling, and Big Chungus refers to a specific internet meme featuring a portly Bugs Bunny from a 1941 Merry Melodies cartoon. The meme gained popularity after a screenshot of the episode was posted online with a fake PlayStation 4 game box overlay presenting a Big Chungus character. The word itself was coined around 2012, though he didn't use it in reference to the Bugs Bunny image at the time. Big Chungus meme. The specific Big Chungus meme originated when a screenshot of a scene from the cartoon Wabbit Trouble was edited. In the scene, Bugs Bunny's body is exaggeratedly large after he taunts a much larger Elmer Fudd. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on this Reddit link. r/out of the loop. Right. What is going on with this? Is from 7 years ago, by the way. 7 years ago was when? Like 2017? Okay. Was 7 years ago 2017? Like, hey, okay, period, mental math. Wait, was it? What is it? It's 2025, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Okay, 2018, right. So this is from 7 years ago, 2018. What is going on with Big Chungus? Big Chungus memes are flooding several subs since yesterday or so. It is too good of a meme to originate from r/dank meme, or any similar sub. So I'm wondering if it is just a random trend or a sort of planned invasion by scratched out the redacted. I had to redact that, but if you're watching this, then you saw what my mouth did. But in case you didn't, I'm gonna do it again in slow-mo. Okay, and I made like a hand sign and everything. So if you saw it, you saw it. if it's just a random trend or sort of a planned invasion, who knows who and why? By who knows who and why. The most suspicious aspect of those are that the picture editing is actually well done and clean, which is extremely rare on those subs. From a very shallow search, the first recent occurrence of the meme on Reddit was on the 3rd of December and doesn't seem to indicate a huge wave of incoming memes on meme subs. After a week, 17 upvotes as of now, he says. After a week and a couple of related memes on others, is this what men... Is this like literally like... I was just talking about how I'm ruminating over like friendship and life and love and like the shit that I'm searching on Reddit is literally like, oh my gosh, like how do I know if I'm like being mature or some shit like that? And they're literally like, what's the deal with Big Chungus? Putting 17 upvotes as of now. This is not in correlation with other meme subreddits that gather close to 13k upvotes, gold and silver. What the are you talking about, bro? Okay, anyway. After a week and a couple of related memes on other subs, this post gathers close to 13k upvotes, gold and silver. Then, close to nothing for another week, and the explosion occurs 3 days ago. According to Know Your Meme, it has been around since 2016 with no notable use. What is happening? ? This is what they're ruminating over. So, really, it's just the particular nonsense phrase that's currently popular. Honestly, I've been trying to figure out the exact origin of Big Chungus on and off for a couple of years now. As far as I can tell, the origin seems to be on Tumblr about 3 years ago, though I'm not entirely sure exactly who started it or when. The most notable examples I know of are a post with a picture of a cat and a dog named Chungo and Scrungus, respectively in late 2015, and a post by author John Green, which has been edited by another user to say, "I love it when you call me Big Chungo." What are they talking about, bro? Like, what are they... I was listening to another podcast, like, weeks ago. Like, I don't even... Maybe, like in the summertime, and I don't know whose podcast it was, but I know Dom Roberts was on it. She said something about, like... No, they were definitely guesting. Like, she was a guest on another one, and she said something about, like, we have to ratio men. Because she said, make your content because we have to ratio like the podcast men. Like we literally have to ratio them. This is the shit that they're talking about, bro. On forums in detail. What the Anyway, because it's more, the paragraphs are long as like this is a full investigation at this point. So, and they deserve to be ratioed. Because if this is what it is, if it's pouring this into the world, me currently pouring this into the world, I'm like, there has to be something else going out. So, whatever. You could edit other people's Tumblr posts before reblogging them back in the day, and everyone particularly loved doing this to John Green's posts. Neither of these are exactly Big Chungus, but both could have possibly served as inspiration for the phrase. Okay. Most notably used by YouTube game critic Jim Sterling starting as early as 2016. There doesn't seem to be any particular meaning to the phrase or inside joke it referenced. It was just something he used sometimes as a nonsense phrase in various contexts or a username when playing some games. Now, I really have no idea where the Bugs Bunny Big Chungus, tongue twister, Bugs Bunny Big Chungus, Bugs Bunny Big Chungus, Bugs Bunny Big Chungus, right? Period. And I ate that, low-key. Now, I really have no idea where the Bugs Bunny Big Chungus edit came from or why it suddenly became big on Reddit. Their subreddits, r/Big Chungus and r/Chungus, have been active for 3 months and a year respectively, so it's not entirely new to Reddit, but I don't know exactly why those subreddits started. In any case, it seems like somebody from one of those subreddits posted that picture on r/Comedy Heaven, which is pretty popular, and it snowballed from there. And it snowballed from there, spelled, by the way, because if you know me, you know I'm like a lit queen, like literature, like grammar. Like my auntie got me a t-shirt for Christmas in 2016 that said, "I'm silently correcting your grammar." Like, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I have always been about the your versus your dash re life. Like, not dash, apostrophe re, like life. Like, I'm quick to be like, He goes, "It snowballed from there," spelled Their. And this is why we have to ratio them, like dead ass. Okay. R/comedy heaven. Oh, no. No. Actually, wait. Wait. Because why am I clicking on R/comedy heaven, bro? No, I want to see Bugs Bunny Big Chungus. The actual picture. Ew. Oh my gosh. No, not ew. Sorry. This shit is funny. I don't know what on earth this has to do with literally anything, but this shit is so funny. Oh my gosh, because why does he look like that? He literally it's just Bugs Bunny and he looks like a penguin with ears, like with bunny ears, dead ass. Like, that's low-key what it's giving. Okay. Oh, period. I found another, like, through searching for Bugs Bunny Big Chungus, I literally found another subreddit where they're having a conversation. What the hell is Big Chungus? A beginner's guide to Big Chungus? Oh my gosh. Wait. And this is from 4 years ago. What the hell is Big Chungus? Codename given to Looney Tunes media featuring an obese version of Bugs Bunny, became an infamous meme in 2018, similar to Spaghetti Bear. Spaghetti Bear, sorry, not Spaghetti Bear. My bad. I don't know your meme. Like, that's a show, I think. I'm failing, like, low-key. Fun fact, Chungus is also a portmanteau. Sorry. Fun fact, Chungus is also a portmanteau for, quote, chunky anus, which was coined by James Stephanie Sterling Q, who runs the Gymquisition, a series I watch alongside Saberspark, ! Seriously, when this becomes a real episode of Saberspark, here's hoping that James Stephanie Sterling, guest stars in that episode to describe how they came up with the term Big Chungus way back when. Okay, so it's a meme. It's literally like, it's Bugs Bunny being obese, mocking Elmer Fudd. He did an impersonation, or impersonating Elmer Fudd. I shouldn't say mocking. It would be hard to make a 10-minute video about it that would be interesting. Too much for, okay, no. I'm over it. Never mind. So, origin of Big Chungus. So, my Chungus life, still not really, like, totally clear on, like, what that is. That was an accident. I just clicked back over, and I think before it was at, like, 30 minutes, and now that shit is at 42. No, before it was at, like, 28 minutes, and now that shit is at 42, so that's my bad. Did not mean to talk about Big Chungus. Don't even know how Big Chungus got me. That's my bad. So, anyway, on Frankenstein. See, and now the problem is, it's been 43 minutes. Like, I now am back to a place similarly to where I was last week, where I'm like, okay, and actually I don't have time to go over my pages of notes on Frankenstein. So you know what? We're just going to top line. We're going to top line it. So, red number from the first scene of Victor's tale. I will, if I can find a screenshot, I will put a screenshot like here somewhere, like on the screen. The use, first and foremost, like the costume design in the film and the way that Mia Goth's character in particular was dressed, like, please, whoever, I don't know, like, whoever did those costumes for that movie and dressed the women in that movie specifically, flowers until the day you die. Like, you literally deserve everything in your, like, Big Chungus life, dead ass, because that shit was fire. There's this red number, though, at the very, like, it's like the first scene of Victor's story, because, like, for context, Frankenstein is split into Victor's story, which is Victor Frankenstein, aka, like, Frankenstein, the doctor, and then there's Creature's story. Immediately, like, empathizing with Creature, like, thinking of Creature, hashtag thinking of him. And I don't know if it's because it was Jacob Elordi, like, and he just ate that shit down, but it's just, like, something about, he was just so, it was just, like, this concept. Anyway, because I'll get there, my notes. This scene with the fucking red dress was tea. CGI angel. Terrifying, scary as hell. Immediately empathizing with the monster. Right. I'm just going down the line of my notes, by the way. Oscar Isaac, first of all, his British accent has dramatically improved. Why did I say that? Oh, because there's a show on Disney. It's like called Moon Knight, and he plays a British man in that too. And I remember like years ago, like in 2022 or 2023, literally stopping watching that show because I was like, Oscar Isaac and this fuck-ass British accent, I'm just not buying it. So accent has tremendously improved. Like, I would say, like, I would have fully believed he was British, like, this time around. Men wearing wigs. How a man's hair, like, indicates his worth. And we see that now in modern society, even with men going to, like, eating turkey for hair transplants. And I really want to know, like, where that comes from. And I'm honestly probably going to look it up after this, but it, like, I don't know. I'm just like, when did that, because I even, like, when you think about, like, royals and, like, founding fathers and how, like, your biggest, baddest powdered wig, like, they would just literally bring out their baddest bitch. And that is how they would run the show. And there was this scene, I think I thought of this because there was this scene in the movie where, like, Oscar Isaac is, like, presenting his science to a room full of, which we'll get there because I have thoughts on that too. But he's presenting his, like, ideas to a room full of people, and they're all, like, these wigged men. And, like, it seems like the men with the most sway are the men with the biggest wigs. And I'm like, who decided on men's worth? Like, it just is interesting, like, the effects, the way that the patriarchy operates is, like, because I just have to know, like, why did men initially start wearing wigs? Men originally started wearing wigs to cover premature baldness, a trend popularized by King Louis of France, King Louis VIII, of France, mid-17th century. This was a way to project an image of good health and status, as healthy hair was a sign of good breeding. Okay. But if y'all know that shit is a wig, then you know what the fuck is underneath the wig. Like, that doesn't even make any sense, actually. That literally doesn't even make any sense. Like, because if they're wigs and we all know they're wigs and we hella all have the same wig, then how is that supposed to say anything about my breeding? You're telling on yourself. Okay. Wigs also became a status symbol because they were expensive and difficult to maintain. And they helped conceal the effects of syphilis, which was widespread at the time and caused hair loss. That's interesting and that's crazy. So okay, no, actually, we're just, like, more on that later. And when I say more on that later, I literally mean, like, me with myself, like, doing more research on it. In this same scene, Oscar Isaac is presenting his findings to this, like, council of, like, very important men with wigs. And they're kind of just, like, shutting his ideas down, and, like, no one wants anything to do with his ideas because they're, like, very fringe and outlandish and, like, anti-godly, right? And it got me wondering, this is just another thing that I wrote down, like, I wonder how much more advanced we would be if, like, these different ideas and advancements hadn't been shut down just because of whatever, religious prejudice, racial prejudice, women not being able to participate in anything of that nature, sciences, like, philosophy, like, all, like, any of these fields, like, they couldn't do shit. And And it's just like, I just wonder, like, I can't even imagine, like, where societies all over the world would be had, like, women and poor people and people of color not been shut out of, just hadn't been shut out of, I don't want to say industries. Well, maybe it is industries, like, shut out of science, shut out of, like, they've been, I think one of the reasons that, like, literature even now and like writing even now is so women, there are just like it's a more woman-centered industry, is because that's like one of the only places where they've always kind of always been allowed. And like it was by no means easy, but like there were definitely more women writing in the 17th century than there were women doing physics, you know, like publicly, and like actively being able to like publish their studies. And actually that's making me now want to like do a deep dive, because I want to know, like, were there any women scientists of note during that time? I'm very curious about that. And if there were, like, what sort of findings were they making? And I'm actually going to I'm going to look into that, because I'm very curious about that. So anyway, Oscar Isaac and these eyes he's giving, and he is, hey, and he was giving, like, that's just been my man crush Monday, like, for my entire life since Ex Machina. And honestly, bring back buff with a buzz cut. Oscar Isaac, buff with a buzz cut. Someone pay him to reprise that role of Nathan from Ex Machina, and like you'll hear from my team, like, I don't know. So yeah, T. Mia Goth stunning in blue. More talk about the women's wear and how fabulous the work was. Her ideas about war, so obvious and so true. There's a whole scene where she, like, actually, I'm not even gonna unpack, because I'm trying to be sensitive about spoilers too. The hanging scene, there's just a flash. I wouldn't consider this a spoiler. It's literally just like a half of a second of a scene, and it's literally like a public hanging, and there's people like lining up to the gallows because they're about to hang, like hella people, maybe like 50. I don't even know. It's like a whole line of men, and there's a whole packed square, like a packed city square there, like, to view the hanging. And it kind of, I don't know, I was just like thinking about that public spectacle and like death being made into public spectacle and where that came from. Obviously some rich people once upon a time, like obviously royals are the only people who would come up with some shit like that. Because I'm even thinking like back to like the Roman Colosseum, for example, and how like they would literally like feed men to the lions essentially, and like have these like gruesome, horrible, bloody displays that thousands of people from like the very, very poorest of poor to like the top rung, like wealthiest people were attending these things. But it's like you're watching your fellow man, like literally, like, for example, that's how they would try like or sentence criminals to like fighting lions in the Colosseum, you know what I mean? And just like who was thinking of this shit? You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of when I wrote this down. I'm like, what's up with like public spectacle being made of death? And that's just always been like a recurring thing that we've come back to in history, even now with like, and the way that like we do show, oh my gosh, even actually, and not even too much on that, but it's really insane to me, and it's very interesting. And I wonder like what part of the human mind is so drawn in by that. So yeah, Guillermo del Toro is who Tim Burton thinks he is. Yeah, love him. Off My Disease. Don't know what that means. Oh, my disease. That's what it says. It says, oh, my disease. Like, as in, oh, my God, but oh, my disease. And actually, I remember exactly why I wrote that down, because there's a scene where they're just dealing in dead bodies. Obviously, this is no secret. Like, if you know Frankenstein, you know that he's obviously using corpses to assemble and create like a new man, essentially. And I was like, like, I just know it smelled nasty in there. Me clutching my pearls, like, I know it smelled nasty in there. Oh, my disease, because no wonder niggas was literally getting syphilis having to wear those fuck ass wigs. Seriously. Yeah, do not go in queasy. Also wrote that. A lot of body, like, I'm not like a body horror person because I literally get like phantom pains and like phantom things. So yeah, don't go in queasy. That's all I'll say about that. Goodness, imagine being born full-sized and not having the privilege of growth. You fucking come out the size of Jacob Elordi. How tall is Jacob Elordi? Like 6'5", 6'7"? Nope. And never mind. Nothing on that. Let's say 6'5". But crazy. Like, coming out the size of Jacob Elordi, like, as a concept, can't even, like, imagine just looking around and being like, whoa, and not having the privilege of, like, going through essential human phases of growth. And so you're just learning from, oh my gosh, like, that just seems really horrible. Immediately locking him up, right? Like, why we don't deserve nice things. Also, this doctor is so unrelenting. And he really was, like, Frankenstein, the doctor, Victor's character, problematic diva, really, like, down, like, and it's interesting because, like, one of the things that Brittany was talking about, I think, was the correlation between, like, how I think, actually, maybe she wasn't, and maybe I read this because I've been reading a lot about this movie, so let me not even mispoint to a source, but someone somewhere was talking about, like, how it's a monstrous thing to try to create life. Like, that makes you a monster. Like, just that act alone. And the fact that this creature is essentially a newborn baby that's humongous, by the way, and doesn't know anything. And your first thought is to, like, lock it up and be unrelentingly, like, expectant of full grown, because the problem is that Victor was expecting this full grown sized man to act like a full grown man, and then fucking enraged and confused when all he could say was papa, like, dead ass. That's what it was giving. That's not all he could say, but, you know, like, in the sense that. So yeah, it was just very interesting. I also wrote, oh, this is gonna make me cry, because, again, immediately, like, identifying with the creature in a crazy way, and just, like, how this creature was just so, like, infatuated and, like, reliant on this, like, abuser, essentially. Just, anyway, not too much on that. Insane of him to operate this way, because it was insane of him to operate the way that he was operating. And if you've seen Frankenstein, then you know. Like, we can talk more about it, but again, I'm trying to stay really, really cute and mindful of spoilers. So yeah, I think that this trope is so interesting of a monster or an outcast befriending a blind person, because, like, that's a trope. Like, that's a thing that I've seen in stories time and time again, and I'm just like, why, or what, like, why? You know what I mean? And I get it. I get that the point is that, like, well, like, someone who has no sight can't be racist, or, like, can't understand. Like, you just really have to, like, encounter a being for what they are and just energy, and you can't make any, like, prejudice judgments or whatever. But I'm like, something about that just feels like something about that trope, at least, like, yes, I understand what it's supposed to display and, like, what it's supposed to represent, but I wonder if, I don't know, it's definitely just an interesting trope. That's what I'll say about that, and that's what I wrote, so period. The true measure of wisdom, to know you have been harmed by who you have been harmed, and choose to forgive. And And that, you know what, ties directly back, circling it all the way back to my note on rumination earlier. That kind of just ties right back into that. So, yeah, just loved that. I think the blind man maybe is the one who said that, because there's a blind man in the story. Again, I don't consider any of these spoilers because I think it's just so vague that if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But he said that, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, period. I do hate a doomed story. Yep, the monster and the man were both doomed. It just has always been. I personally can't do a doomed story, a doomed romance, a doomed, just if there's just any sort of, like, when you go in knowing how it's gonna end and that it's so like heartbreaking and that it's just almost like a tragedy, like things like that, like I just don't jive with that. So yeah, I wrote down, hate that. Crying at Elizabeth and the monster, crying at Elizabeth and the creature, no further comment. Children being made in an image, this monster being made in Victor's image. Huge theme of Frankenstein in general, and why I think Frankenstein the book is so revolutionary and just such an amazing story is because this concept of essentially like your children being a reflection of you, but also like even more so, I think the concept of like your fellow man being reflected, like yourself being essentially reflected back to you through your fellow man. Like we see it all the time, especially in stories where, like, for example, someone with a really cold heart, like, just gets to kind of like be shitty and abuse someone over and over again. But if they're dealing with someone who is like really kind, or like a monk or a priest or a character that has like reached enlightenment, they eventually, the cruel person eventually like has this huge come to Jesus where they break down and they're like, oh my God, like they themselves realize exactly who it is that they are and how terrible they are through like receiving the love and kindness of another. And that is, yeah, that just as a concept, but also like seeing that in this story, that like way of that specific narrative being like displayed, just love that being the top line. And I think that this movie did such a good job of really just staying faithful to Frankenstein and that story. Like I feel like I understand it, or I understood exactly what was going on. And like I think that medium, like the medium of film, is already my favorite. We know this. We know I went to film school. Like we know I love visual storytelling in that way specifically. But yeah, just like just the idea of Guillermo del Toro being able to imbue this project with such like passion and love, and it be felt in like the coloring, the construction of the gowns, like the ways that the characters even interacted with each other. Like it was beautiful. So yeah, that being said, honestly, not gonna say 10 out of 10 would recommend, but like I'm probably giving it, I do think on Letterboxd I gave it like 4.5, maybe 4.5. So yeah, but would recommend regardless. Maybe 4. I think I actually gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. So those are my notes. But yeah, that being said, moving into obsessions and on the topic of like classics and things of that nature, because I have to read this book, I think, but feeling very torn up over the fact that I might not be getting it with Pride and Prejudice. And obviously, like, this is heartbreaking because I want to be in on everything. So, like, I think the idea that, I don't know, like, the idea that I watched it and was a little bit underwhelmed, that's my opinion, feels kind of heartbreaking. I'm really torn up about it because I wanted to be like so obsessed. I mean, and granted, I did watch it because a man told me to watch it. So Yeah. But also, honestly, when I think about it though, like the girls, like my girls love that movie. So I don't know. Like maybe I need to watch it again. In my opinion, I feel like the subtleties were entirely too subtle to warrant the responses. And I feel like it's because it was a movie after I'm just waxing poetic about a movie that was, or a book that was translated perfectly into a movie. I feel like the problem with Pride and Prejudice, now I have to read the book, but I feel like my issues with it are definitely fixed in the book. Like, I feel like if I read the story, I'll be like, oh, this is fabulous, amazing, like, best romance ever. You know what I mean? But I think without really being in the characters' heads the way that you are in a book, like, you are directly hearing and feeling and, like, seeing exactly what is going on. And I think, for example, like, it just felt like in Pride and Prejudice for me, like, that there was just too much relying on those moments that were like internal moments, but it's like you can't visually express them in a way that I feel like is adequate to portray the sort of love in this case that you were trying to portray. So like when all of a sudden he corners her and he's like, it's, I guess spoiler if you haven't seen Pride and Prejudice, but like when all of a sudden he corners her and he's like, I love you. I'm in love with you. And it's like up until this point, they've had 3 interactions and exchanged 10 words or less, dead ass. Like, obviously not like literally, but you know what I mean. I think that those are the types of moments that are really served well by being written in a novel and really work in that medium as opposed to film, especially if the moments in real life aren't going to be like shared intimacies, even if it's just like for example, like shared intimacy, not even always meaning like physical contact or something like that, but I'm just talking more so about the shared intimacy of being in a room alone together and just having a quiet moment, but it's like a charged silence, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, there was like 1 or 2 of those moments with them, but I think that the reliance on that and on us just having to like kind of see and assume what's happening felt too subtle for the way that the actual story, or at least in my understanding of the story, because mind you, I haven't read the book, but I'm about to, like, it's next, but like it just felt too subtle for the way that the story actually goes, like, in terms of my understanding. So, yeah, heartbreaking, but maybe I'll watch it again. Like, I don't know. Am obsessed with musically rap music. Rap, like, I've been waiting on this. Nobody understands that I have been trying, it's like, I don't know what's been going on, but I've been away from rap music for like a year, like probably maybe like 10 months. I'll say 8 to 10 months. I have not been listening to really any new rap music. One, because I feel like the messaging is getting kind of spooky and the energy is getting kind of scary. That being said, you know, I was talking about how like when you're in a good mood and like in a good vibe and like feeling high energy, like everything sounds good. And recently it's been rap music, like after several long months, literally 8. I don't know, I'm having a really good time, specifically listening to rap that's like from my middle school and high school era. Days Before Rodeo by Travis Scott circa 2014. Yeah, that's been my shit. There's a song on it also with the 1975, and I don't know if I like forgot it or if I've just never heard it, but like it's called Don't Play and it's fire. So yeah, enjoying rap music, but specifically like old rap music, old Travis Scott, Days Before Rodeo, which also was recently added to Spotify, I think like last year, by the way, because it was a SoundCloud only. It was a SoundCloud exclusive. And then I think it was on YouTube, low-key, because everything's on YouTube. But yeah, and Yeet, which, like, listening to Yeet, but also swallowing the impossibly large pill first that he is a white man. Like, was that like, is that not, I'm like, oh, that's not, like, was that surprising information for anyone else? Or like that's literally a white man. I don't know. I don't know about that, but hey, he's been bumping in my shit low key, so I don't know. But I literally actually had to swallow the pill first that he was white. And it kind of just shifted a little some in my brain because I didn't know. I'd never done too much investigation into Yeet, but yeah. Yeah, Man Crush Monday, Jacob Elordi, 2 weeks in a row, I guess. Like, I don't know. Love him. I obviously, because I'm talking about him, I've been getting TikToks about him. Yeah, I don't know. I found out unprovoked that he loves Scooby-Doo. And, like, if you know me in real life, you know that I've probably logged, like, as many hours on Scooby-Doo as I have logged on, like, SpongeBob SquarePants. Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo movies, because I have all them bitches on VCR, mind you. Every single one. My favorite is Cyber Chase. That's probably my most, I think it was called Cyber Chase, my most played movie probably ever. And that, like, also introduced... I think that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy low-key also introduced me to the concept of greed and are the reason why I was like a chunky baby. Because, and when I say chunky baby, I do mean overweight most of my life, is because they just, something about the way that they made overeating look so good. Like, that shit was tea. Anyway, that being said, I have spent a whole lot of hours on SpongeBob, and I have spent a whole lot of hours, specifically developmental hours, on Scooby-Doo, and finding out unprovoked that Jacob Elordi's favorite show is Scooby-Doo, I'm like, oh right, so yeah, that's Man Crush Monday. Speaking of Man Crush Monday, my crush, coming all the way back, my crush from however many weeks ago, my crush from Halloween, it's like slowly dying low-key, or like not slowly dying, but it's like leaving my body. I think I was like low-key read by my best friend yesterday. She called me, and she's like sick right now and like having a whole moment. Lives in LA, love her down, my diva down. But yeah, she called me and we were just catching up and talking, and I tell her about this crush, and she's like, oh girl, like, you got rizzed. And I was like, well, yes, like obviously. But then I was like, but the thing is, like, I don't know, me every single time I have a crush, by the way, me, like, I don't know, though, like, something about it just felt different. Like, what if he's my soulmate? And she said, I was silenced. I'll start there. She goes, and she said it so nicely, too, which is why I'm like, you bitch. Because she literally was like, well, I mean, okay, I do feel like you have thought that a lot of men were your soulmate. Okay. And, okay, crazy of you to just say that, like, just like that to my face, but, like, fine. And honestly, like, since then, I've been thinking back on it, and I'm kind of like, well, maybe I have. Like, maybe I do have, like, a little bit of a history of, like, thinking that people are my soulmate. But in the grand scheme of things, isn't everybody that you meet technically, in some way, shape, or form, someone that you were fated to meet? Even if it's just, like, the girl at the coffee counter. Because when you think about it, with there being 7 billion people on Earth and all, there is something to be said about every person that you encounter. Like, that is very specific. Like, and kind of special. Like, even the fact that I happen to be encountering you at the fucking Popeyes drive-through window, like, that's, like, all things considered, kind of niche, I think. Especially, like, when you think about, like, the odds of us meeting, or the odds of, because you'll never meet everybody on Earth. So, in a way, everybody that you encounter could technically maybe, like, kind of be a soulmate of yours. I don't know, girl. Like, So yeah, but anyway, point is, she read me a little, and now I'm kind of just like, okay, like, literally, like, me, like, with the me with this heart in my hand, like, okay, well, now, like, what do I do with this heart in my hand? Like, damn. Hole in my chest type shit. Like, literally looking down, like, heart in my hand, like, bleeding, bloody mess. Like, well, what now? So yeah, that's happening. Woman Crush Wednesday. Woman Crush Wednesday. Let me think. Oh, honestly, just because she's been on a crazy, nasty press tour right now, Odessa Odessa Assos. I don't know that, but I don't know her name. I don't know her full name. Odessa Azion, Azion, Adlon, Odessa Zion, Siegel Adlon, known as Odessa Azion. Well, period. She's been eating this press tour for I Love LA up. I have not seen the show yet, by the way, but if you know me, you know that California is my special interest. So, like, we'll be getting into it, but I think I said last time that I just, like, can't watch things once at, like, one, like, I forget. The thing is that, like, I'll literally, like, forget that something is being released, so I literally have to, like, stop watching it so that I can just watch it all at once. Otherwise, like, I'll watch, like, the first 3 episodes because I maybe could keep up, or maybe the first 3 were out, and then I literally forget. So, yeah. Odessa, girl, like, she's eating this tour up. Really can't wait to get into that show though, low-key. And yeah, I think that being said, am I reading anything right now? What am I reading? Well, me asking if I'm reading anything right now, I'm always reading some shit. I actually just finished a book. What did I just finish? Oh, I just finished The Alchemist, which I have never read that book before, but if you're just looking for a quick read and a cute little pick-me-up, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And now I'm reading this novel called Open Water, and it's like a romance about 2 Black Londoners. Like, or I guess one of them is, I don't know if she's from Dublin or if she goes to school in Dublin. It's a novel by Caleb Azuma Nelson. It's, like, pretty good. I'm enjoying it. It's very poetic. It's very romantic. Like, it kind of has similar vibes to me as... Actually, I'm not even going to compare it to anything. So, yeah, get into that. That was gifted to me by my friend Rachel, so shout out her. Like, but, yeah, that being said, we made it. We did it, Joe. Like, here we are at the end of another episode. So, yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Love you, miss you, like, deeply want to kiss you, obviously. And yeah, until next time. Bye.